Okay, so I redid the fiddle board to have all of the shapes on it here. Okay, so this is the real situation. I actually had to have 3 layers of overlap. So with double cages, what's a double cage? What's a double cage? What's a cage? Here's a C cage. C cage goes to A cage. But a double cage would be, now there's repeat in the double cage in the guitar, so that's why we don't use double cages in the guitar, because I don't want the repeat notes, as much as it's fun to play. Okay, but we don't need that in a least common denominator pattern kind of thing. So I don't mean to use a math term. In the simplest form, it has to play, the pattern has to play, so it's okay. So that's why we don't do double patterns on the guitar. But I found, just through trial and error, I'd say, I'm sure there's another reason, that we have double patterns on the fiddle board. And so let's just look. We'll be playing these patterns, okay? So here's the fiddle board. I know the lighting's a little low today. I just thought I'd see how that turns out. Make it a little different, instead of it being all bright all the time. So I've added the actual shapes, so we're going to see how this works out. So remember one thing about cage, it goes in circles. Okay, so cage goes in circles. So we have C, A, G, E, D, or A, G, E, D, C, or G, E, D, C, A, or E, D, C, A, G. Now watch this. Remember this one, A, G, E, D, C. Come over here. What do we got? A, G, E, D, C. Now this is kind of like connect the dots, but it's only because that's where the banner labels are. The important thing to remember about these banner labels is they include the notes that are squared off in them. And the important thing to remember about where those notes are squared off is there's 2 individual string shapes in each string within that box, within that shape. So AG would be, the bottom string would be 5, 6, 7 root. We got A and G there on the bottom. The GE would be, the GE shape would be 6, 7 root 2, 7 root 2. Okay, so we're going to talk more about that. Why are those string shapes what they are? Because those are the bottom strings in the 5-cage Kia cage. Kia cage. So C, like that. The bottom string is 3, 4, 5. Okay, A, a nice A. The A shape now, the E becomes the 5th of that A, so it's 5, 6. E, F sharp is the 5, 6 in the key of A, right? And then G. Okay, the bottom shape of the G shape is 6, 7 root. 6, 7 root, because E becomes the 6th, and D becomes, not D, F sharp becomes the 7th, and root is root. G becomes the root. So that's why the G string shape right there is 6, 7 root, no matter what. That's a least common denominator in string shapes. Okay, then we go to the let's see, C A G E. All right, so the E becomes the root there. So the problem is, okay, what's the E shape? Well, the E shape turns out to be, let's look at an E shape over here. It's actually 7 root 2. Okay, so if we wanted to do an E-shaped F, we just bring that E up like this, and now the root is the F, and the E becomes the 7. That's why the E shape is 7 root 2. No matter where you play that E shape. And then you can make it minor. So that's a popular, 6 minor, 4 major, 5 dominant there. In any case, we got the D shape. So that D string shape is what is the bottom string of that D string shape. Okay, let's look at it. So starting over here, it's going to be 2, 3, 4. E becomes the second of D, so it's 2, 3, 4, like that. Now, when I want to play the full D string shape there, all right, it's going to be 2, 3, 4. All right. Well, let's look at the pentatonic on that D. There's your D shape. So it'd be 2, 3, 4 would be the string shape on the bottom there. 2, 3, 4. And our little D shape is practically the easiest one to do. It's just 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2. Notice we go below the capo there. So, we can't use this particular pattern there. So with the D, we'd have to use the long pattern. But nevertheless, that's the D shape. And it contains 2 string shapes on each line, the ED shape, right? Or the DC shape, 2 string shapes on each line. So the D would be the first pattern there, 2, 3, 4, going to the C shape, 3, 4, 5. So this is how it pans out and actually spells cage. But in this case, we're going to look at A, G, E, D. From the first one, it go A, G, E, D like that. So let's go on with the lesson and get to the 2D stuff and the fiddle. Alright, so let's see what we got here. Today's chart is chart 190. Double strings, shaped cages, fiddleboard. Okay, now when I say fiddleboard, I'm talking about I've added the shapes to this fiddleboard here. I haven't colored in the little shape the shape banners, and they're easier to see if you color them in. Usually I'll go with the color of the first note. So AG, this would be like have like a pink, and then this ED here starting on the 7 would be blue, and that kind of stuff. But for now, I want you to see I've grayscaled this. I was just talking about color, and now I've grayscaled this. And I want to show you how this works here. So the bottom string spells caged. Okay, so this is the bottom string of the fiddle now. Alright, it's right here. Let's make sure we know what we're looking at. This is a smaller diagram. This is the bottom string of the fiddle there. Alright, so I have my fiddle. I got 5, 6, 7 root. That would be the AG shape, would be like 5, 6, 7. It's kind of a hard one on the top there. The way that would play over here would be now, when you're just starting on a fiddle, it always pays